All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I've actually got my son Riley sitting here with me today, so he's listening in on the headset, and he's very excited to be wearing his headset today. But I am gonna do a personal episode here and just share a little bit about what we've been up to. We went on a family vacation last week, two destinations. We went to Nashville area for a few days, and then down to Florida, and so this is our first time going to either of these locations for all of us, for our entire family. And Nashville and Tennessee is absolutely beautiful. That is an amazing place. Just tons of green trees, rolling hills, lots of culture with music, and it's a high growth market like the Phoenix area. And we stayed in one of the suburbs of Nashville called Franklin. And so Franklin is a city with a really cool old historic downtown, lots of good restaurants. We stayed at a hotel there called the Harpeth, and it was an amazing hotel. Nice restaurant down in the bottom on the first floor. And then they had a cool bar with live music. Everywhere you go in Nashville, it's like there's live music. And Danielle, my wife, loves live music. So, especially when we first got there, anytime we saw someone play music, she'd be like, "Babe, oh my God, there's live music, live music!" And then the whole family's running over to wherever it's someone playing their instruments. So it's pretty funny. But that's a really cool area. And then we went and stayed downtown and stayed at a really cool hotel downtown. Got to go down into downtown Nashville where they've got all the bars and the music and everything. And we jumped on those bird scooters with our kids. And so Danielle and I each had a scooter, and then Riley and Chloe were riding on the front of each of our scooters. So that was a blast riding down the sidewalks with them. Got downtown and quickly realized that was not a good place for small children. So we were only down there for a few minutes, but then came back to the hotel and hung out there. And the hotel we were staying at, they had an awesome restaurant, and really, really enjoyed our time there. The name of that hotel, I actually want to pull this up here because I'm forgetting now, but it's really cool. It's called the Conrad in Nashville. Super nice hotel, new hotel with a bar on the rooftop. So that's a really cool place to check out. And, some of the things I learned about the Nashville area is that it's pretty centrally located to a lot of cool stuff. So it's like a 2-hour flight from Phoenix, 2-hour flight from Denver. You are an hour to an hour and a half to most places in Florida. This is all by plane, obviously. 6-hour drive to the beach in Florida. And then there's skiing in the Nashville area. So a lot of really cool stuff out there. And then the weather's pretty moderate year round, so it doesn't get crazy hot in the summer, although it does get humid. And then in the winter, like they could get snow here or there, but not crazy cold. So it's a really neat place. Definitely something worth checking out. Those surrounding areas, the suburbs, Franklin, Brentwood, the College Grove, and then the city of Nashville proper as well. So check that out. And then so we did just a few days in Nashville, and then we took a 1-hour flight down to Florida and went to a place called Rosemary Beach, which is near Destin, Florida. It's like an hour and a half southeast of Pensacola. That is an absolutely incredible place to go. We were blown away. So Danielle and I have gone to Playa del Carmen in Mexico, that's in between Cancun and Tulum. And we've loved Playa del Carmen because it's on the Caribbean. You get these beautiful white sand beaches, turquoise water. The ocean water is always warm. The beaches are really nice. And so we find ourselves going down there a lot. We did our honeymoon down there, and then we've gone back. I think we've been there a total of 5 times, and once or twice with the kids. And so we absolutely love it down there. But these beaches in Florida blow that out of the water. So in Rosemary, you're basically you're like 2 hours from Mobile, Alabama. So you're in the very northwest corner of the state, on the Gulf, and the beaches there are absolutely incredible. The best beaches I've ever seen. So they're like a really fine white sand, just pure white sand. And then the sand goes out into the ocean like 300 feet at a depth of like 3.5 feet. So you can walk way out into the ocean and the water is barely up to your waist and it's warm. And so because that sand is so white going all the way out in the ocean, the water is just like a bright turquoise. No seaweed, no rocks, no debris of any kind other than just pure white sand. So the water there, it looks like cleaner than pool water. It's incredible. I've never been to beaches that nice before. And then on top of it, you're in the US, you're in Florida, and the Rosemary Alice Beach area, there's a strip of highway called 30A that encompasses Rosemary, Alice Beach, and then a couple other beaches. That's a pretty high end section there, and so it's really nice. There's some really good restaurants. We had rented a condo, and a couple weeks before we went out, there was a flood in the condo, and so that resort also manages like homes that are rentals, so really nice homes, and so we got upgraded to a home. They couldn't rent us a condo because it had water damage, so they had to put us in a home, and unfortunately, we had to stay in a home that was probably something around the neighborhood of $6 million. It was an incredible house, so we got super lucky there. And that house was like less than a 5-minute walk from the beach. So, had we been in the condo or the house, we were just a walk away from the beach. The weather down there's really nice throughout the year. And funny story, we had when we flew from Nashville to Florida, we got an Uber, and the guy who was our Uber driver, he's really chatting us up, and he's like, "Hey, I can drive you guys anywhere you need to go while you're out here. So let me give you my cell phone number, and just give me a call or schedule with me, and I can give you a ride." So we got a ride with him a couple times to go to some places, and then we had a ride booked with him to fly home. And so he comes to pick us up. We load all the stuff in the car, and we're leaving, on time to be to the airport like an hour and a half early. And so he's talking to me as we're getting in the car, and he's like, "So you guys are going to such and such airport, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, wherever we flew in at." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, so that's such and such airport." And I'm like, "Yeah, if that's where we flew in at, that's where we're going." So okay, so start driving, and it's supposed to be like a 30-minute drive. We're like 45 minutes into this drive, and we're starting to question like, "Hey, where are we going? Like, what airport are you taking us to?" And we realized that he is driving us to the wrong airport. And so we've gone an hour in the wrong direction. And by the time we realize it, we only have an hour until our flight takes off, and we're an hour and a half from the correct airport that we're supposed to go to. No other flights to get on that day. No flights to get on the next day. We even looked at renting a car and driving to like Nashville or Orlando or Atlanta to get a flight out of there. And our best case scenario is to get a flight the next day out of one of those cities. But we couldn't rent a car. There were no one-way car rentals. So we had to then stay 2 nights in a hotel up near Pensacola on the beach. And the beaches up there are still almost just as nice as the beaches down at Rosemary. But it ended up being a really fun trip. I highly recommend checking out Rosemary Beach and Nashville. There's 2 places we had a great time with our family. So DM me if you have any questions. Be happy to give you information on where we stayed and what restaurants we went to and so on and so forth. And talk to you later.